Hello friends, welcome back. Today is day 6 of our JFrog Artifactory series. In today's session, we are going to see how to create a generic repository and how to upload artifacts into a generic local repo in Artifactory, both for Spring Boot application and a Node or React application. So let's get started. First, log into JFrog. In my case, I am using a trial URL because my CentOS setup is a bit slow. Before we begin creating the repo, let's do a quick recap. Well, what is a generic repo in Artifactory? A generic repository allows you to upload packages of any type. These are extremely useful when you have unsupported package types, installers, zip files, tar.gz files, deployment scripts, miscellaneous binaries like audio, config, navigation files, etc. Since generic repos are not tied to any specific package manager, they don't maintain package indexes. If you want to use a client like Yum or Gem, then you must create a repo that matches that package type. But for everything else, generic repo works perfectly. In this demo, we will create one generic repo per microservice and we will store zip files and tgz files there, like these. Like for our microservices, first one SEH students, Spring Boot. Inside the SEH generic repo, we will store SEH students, then deployment manifest.zip that contains app deployment.sh and SEH students.jar. Why deployment manifest.zip? Because it contains environment specific deployment steps like how to deploy, start stop commands, just like we used to do with JBoss and Nginx or any traditional server. So the DevOps team knows exactly how to deploy this microservice in any environment. Now for SEH web app, for the React frontend, we store SEH web app, then deployment manifest.zip that contains web deployment.sh and SEH web app.tgz that contains the build output created by npm run build. This keeps all front-end deployment instructions and the build artifacts in one place. Here one thing we can notice, for both of the applications, the folder structure is same, application name, release version, then deployment manifest.zip to store the deployment related instructions and the jar and the build output of React application. Now let's start the actual demo, creating a generic local repo. For that, go to administration. On the left sidebar, click on repositories. Click on create a repository and choose local repository from here. Select generic as the package type. Enter repository key SEH. This is the name of your repo where all our microservices will store their deployment packages. Then we have stage. A repo can be connected to multiple stages like dev, prod, etc. This controls who has access. We keep it default. Then repository layout, use simple default. It means Artifactory won't force any special folder structure. You can store things however you like. It provides flexibility. Now include exclude patterns. Think of these like filters. Include means allow certain types of artifacts. Exclude means block certain files. By default, include everything, exclude nothing. Simplest and recommended for generic repos. Then we have public description and internal description. Just small text to describe what this repo is for. This JFrog X-ray integration. This enables indexing if you want X-ray to scan your zip, tgz, jar files for vulnerabilities. Once done, click on create local repository. And you will see your generic repository was created successfully and Artifactory will show you the API endpoint. Now copy this URL endpoint and save it somewhere. We will use this API endpoint from curl commands to upload and download artifacts. Next, configure your generic client to work with your repository and run some basic commands. This simply means if you want, Artifactory can guide you to set up a command line client. Below that, Artifactory gives you two buttons. Set up generic client. This option helps you configure JFrog CLI or curl. I will do it later. Select this if you don't want to configure anything right now. For this demo, we will go with setup generic client. Click on this one. Here you can see three tabs: configure, deploy and resolve. This configure tab helps you to create client setup instructions with embedded authentication. Basically, Artifactory gives you a ready-made script so your system can upload files securely. So here enter your password and click on generate token and create instructions. So this will generate an identity token and we will use this token to upload artifacts. Make sure to save this token somewhere safe. Next we have deploy tab. This simply shows you the curl command to upload a file into a generic repository. Copy it. We will use this to upload our files. Now we have resolve tab. This shows the curl command to download a file from the same repo. We can save this curl command as well. Well, that's it. Upload from deploy and download from resolve, and authenticate comes from configure. Click on done. Now you can see our generic repo named SEH is successfully created and ready to use. Now let's follow the exact steps we follow in real world DevOps scenarios. We will start with the SEH students Spring Boot application. Suppose we want to upload the 001 stable version of our artifact, so we will update pom.xml, here version to 001. For Spring Boot microservice, this SEH students, we will be uploading two files. One is deployment manifest.zip, another one is the SEH students 001.jar. So before doing anything, first you create a new branch. I have already created release/DevOps and I checked out to it. Now create a file build.sh. See, this build.sh script is basically a collection of commands that will build the application, package deployment scripts, extract version details, and upload everything to Artifactory. Let's start. shebang/bin/bash. So this tells the system to use the bash shell to run this script. Then set-e. Set-e means if any command fails, stop the script immediately. Then create a variable Artifactory URL. And here paste the URL which we have already stored. Copy this URL and paste it here. Close the double quotes. So then repo, our repo name is SEH. This is Artifactory generic repo. Then Artifactory user. Again copy the user. This is my user, copy it and paste it here, close the double quotes. Then Artifactory API key $1. This means when I run this script, I will pass the API key as the first argument. We do this because we should never hardcode API keys inside code or Git repos. Then run the Maven build command. Mvn clean install -d skip test is equal to true. So this removes the old compiled files. This install build the project and create the jar. -d skip test is equal to true. Skip the test to make the build faster. Then zip the entire deployment manifest folder. Zip -r deployment_manifest.zip. So here I am zipping the entire deployment manifest folder into a file called deployment manifest.zip. So this zip contains deployment instructions for our environments. Then extract artifact name from pom.xml and store it inside a variable. So app_name is my variable and I'm using xml lint. So here this command pulls artifact ID from pom.xml. Artifact ID from pom.xml. Artifact ID from our pom.xml. Now extract version. The same way from pom.xml, extract the version. In pom.xml our version is 001. So it will extract the version 001 from pom.xml. Now I create the file name dynamically. My jar will be stored inside target folder. Now print the values. App name, version, jar file. The final two steps to upload the jar and deployment manifest.zip to Artifactory. For that, curl -u, then Artifactory user, Artifactory API key, -t jar file. This specify which file to upload. Then Artifactory URL, repo, we want to follow repo name, then app name, release version. Repo name, app name, then /release, then version number, then our jar. The same way for deployment manifest.zip also. Once done, print the success message, deploy artifact and the deployment manifest uploaded successfully. Save it and push to GitHub. For that, use git add dot git commit -m, commit the changes, prepared build.sh and git push. So this pushes the branch to Bitbucket. Now go to Bitbucket and validate. From here, sh students, release /DevOps. So here under release /DevOps, we can see our build.sh is available. Now let's move to the build server. Our build server is LXSH India 001. Here, clone the repo, git clone, copy the URL, move to the project directory, that is sh students, check out to release /DevOps branch, check out release /DevOps, switch to a new branch, release /DevOps. Now do ls, provide the execute permission to build.sh, cat build.sh. Okay, now run build.sh using API token. Sit here and execute. What happens now? Maven will build the project, jar file will be generated, deployment manifest.zip will be created, name and version will be extracted. So here you can see name and version and this jar file name, and files will be uploaded to Artifactory automatically. So upload successfully. We can validate in Artifactory. Go to your Artifactory. Here, refresh. We can see under our sh generic repo, sh students folder is available. Here under release, then version number and our deployment manifest.zip and jar both are available here. The same way we will perform these steps for sh web app, which is our React application, to upload the artifacts to Artifactory. Now we will follow the exact same steps for our React application, that is sh web app. I already have the branch release /DevOps, so I just switched it to it using git checkout release /DevOps. Now I will create a build.sh file. I will use touch build.sh. So this build.sh script will install dependencies, build the React app, package the output, extract the app name and the version using JQ, and finally upload everything to Artifactory. So let me copy build.sh from our Spring Boot application and we will modify according to our React application. Here, set -e means stop the script immediately if any command fails. Then I define Artifactory URL, repo, Artifactory user and Artifactory API key. The API key is passed as an argument because we should never hardcode secrets in Git. And instead of mven clean install, we will use npm install npm install downloads all Node.js dependencies from the package.json. Then we will zip deployment manifest entire folder to deployment manifest.zip, and we will perform npm run build. npm run build compiles the React project and generates the build directory. Then we will tar -czf sh-webapp.tgz build /. So this command creates a compressed tgz file of the build folder. This is the artifact we will upload. Then we will extract app name, this time using jq and from package.json. So from package.json it will extract the app name dot name. The same way for version, jq dot version, the version is 100 from package.json. Remove this, print the app name and version. Then we are going to upload this tgz file sh-webapp.tgz and deployment manifest.zip to Artifactory, deployment manifest.zip and sh-webapp.tgz file. So -t input file will be sh-webapp.tgz instead of jar sh-webapp.tgz. The same way deployment manifest.zip, at the end print a successful message. Once done, push the changes to GitHub. Git add stages the file. Git commit -m commit message prepared build.sh and git push. Once done, let's validate our GitHub repo. Here we can see our build.sh is available. Now in the build server, we need to run this build.sh file so that our artifacts can be pushed to Artifactory. For that, in the build server, clone this repo, copy the URL and perform git clone sh-webapp. Once done, cd to sh-webapp directory. Here check out to release/DevOps branch. Checked out. Now check the file permissions and provide the execute file permission to build.sh. For that, chmod +x build.sh. Okay, now this file is having execute permissions. Now run the build script with API token. For that, sh build.sh and API token. I will hide this API token for security reasons. So what happens here, when build.sh runs, it installs node dependencies using npm install. It runs the React build steps using npm run build. It generates build directory. It packages the build output into sh-webapp.tgz file. It extracts name and version from package.json using jq. It uploads the tgz artifact and the deployment manifest to JFrog Artifactory using API key. Let's wait for some time. So here we can see our app name is sh-webapp. It is printing version and uploaded artifacts to Artifactory successfully. Let's validate in Artifactory in JFrog under sh. Just refresh it. Under sh-webapp release, then version number, that is 100. we can see deployment manifest.zip and shwebapp.tgz. So today we saw how to upload artifacts to JFrog generic repository. This approach keeps a clean symmetry across all our microservices, no matter whether it's a Java, Node, React or anything else. The artifact structure stays consistent and easy to automate. In next video, we will learn how to create a Docker registry in JFrog and how to push Docker images to it. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching and happy learning.